Hi, I'm Joan Lok. I'm starting a new project on my miniature dollhouses. And this time I'm going to do a house instead of a restaurant. This is the one that I will be building. And I have been building different kind of restaurant, dim sum restaurant, sushi restaurant, and so on. So this one will be the first house that I have worked on. So here you see that the package is brand new. And these are the wallpaper and the parts that I will work on. And I have to say that, they are really nice, but I do think that, like the bathroom and the kitchen are kind of all pink. And it might be a little bit too pink for my taste. So what I have decided to do is in the master bedroom on the second floor, they have this pattern. And then coincidentally, I actually have a origami paper that I've collected that has a similar pattern. So you see this and this actually, like resemble a pretty close pattern. So what I plan to do is to replace some of the pink with what I have on my origami paper and kind of change the tone to be less pink for the rest of the house, right? So I will get started, and when I come back, we'll see how we will change the look of this house. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Hi, I have worked on this for a few days, so let me show you what I have done. See, this is the sample of what the miniature dollhouse kits provided. And first of all, I'm going to, cover all the pieces with the wallpaper or the fall covering. And most of them are done according to um, the kit. So this is basically the floor for the house. And then these are the ones that are for the kitchen and the bathroom. So they are done according to the instructions, and these are basically little carpet for that. And this is the flooring for the second floor. So I'm basically keeping all of them according to what the kids suggested. However, I already told you that I think that the original design, the bathroom and the kitchen are both pink, and it's a little bit too pink for my taste. So I looked at the wallpaper that they provided for the second floor, and since I have collected this origami paper, that is kind of in line with what this wallpaper has. So my origami kit actually have 5 different tones. They have the purple, green, blue, blue, green, green, yellow, orange, pink, and pink, purple. So I looked at them, and then what I decided is to pick the blue tone one and also the orange tone one to amend the kitchen and the bathroom. And this is what I did. So this is the wall for the second floor and the wall for the bathroom. And I think it's a little bit pink. So what I did is I actually changed it to a blue. Okay, so this is the one that I have for the downstairs bathroom. And this is the side wall for the bathroom. And of course, I don't want this pink, so I also have it done with a matching blue. So that's that. And then for the wall for the kitchen, and the same thing here. This is the side wall for the upstairs, and this is the side wall for the kitchen. And it's a little bit too pink. So what I did is I picked a brownish yellow tone. And I actually would like it to be greener. However, because the cabinet for the kitchen, they already come in this tan of this kind of pink tan color. So, thinking to go to the green or the blue tone may not match with this, and I'll have to change this as well. So I think taking kind of more brown tone would not be too much a crash without doing too much change. So this wall, I change it into this kind of like a brownish tan tone. And to match it, the side wall for the rest of the kitchen also has been changed from pink to this brownish tan tone. And I have looked into that, and like I have my kitchen cabinet and also my kitchen, like this is kind of pinkish. If I have this here, but I think it's a little bit too pink. But if I change it to here, then it brings out the brown color or the tan color of this, and it is not really a crash, right? So these are basically what I did to the walls. And then the kit also come with the roof of the building, which is also in pink. And I kept the interwall, the ceiling color, which is a pale pink, which is not too much for me. But then to have this pink on the top of the roof is a little bit much. So what I did is I also color it to a kind of like a brownish tan color. And this is kind of in line with the flooring color. So it's not completely out of place, but then I think it probably give me a more palatable color for my taste. And finishing it here, this will be like that, but then it will no longer be pink. So that's basically the outer and inner wall, what I've changed for that. And let me show you what I have done for the inside or some of the furniture. So let's see what we have. Majority of the things that I have for this are mainly maintaining what the instruction book suggested for me to do. So most of them are the same, but then I do have some change to it. These are all the little dining room furnitures. And I have to say that, they are pretty made according to what the suggestion has. I do find it kind of difficult to glue fabric to wood pieces. I have to say that this is the first time I did that, and I did have a very hard time doing that. So, they are not the perfect one, but then hopefully I'll get better later. But then these are the little 4 chairs. Just put it here. So I have the 4 chairs. And then when it comes to the dining room table, and all the things on top of it, I basically built the table according to the instructions. And then I did have a pretty hard time working on these plate because they were just paper cut out, and the coffee also paper cut out. So these are what I did, and you can see the scale to my hand. So you see how small it is. I did have not a very easy time doing that, cutting all the paper plate out and then, putting the decoration on top to make it look like dessert ready to be served, and making the tiny little coffee cup. Although it's fun, but I do find it, not that easy to make. So, but I still made it basically according to what the instructions said, right? What I really changed are the flower. In this design that they suggest, this is a vase of flower on the dining room table, and then the instruction would ask me to basically cut out the pink paper they have provided me, and then roll it up and make them into roses. And then they did give me a glass bead and also some plastic foliage to put together, so to make something like that. And I do not really like this color. I think it looks pretty unrealistic. And so what I did is one of my favorite ways to do the vase is actually to find a bead of that size. So what I did is I actually find a glass bead that I like, which has a kind of like a greenish tone. And then I did use the foliage that they provided me. But then what I also did is I used the same method that they did, but then instead of using this pink paper, what I did is I went to my rice paper. I color a piece of rice paper with purple and pink tone. And then with the same method, I roll that up onto a stick and I make two little roses. So these are the two little roses, but I do think that this coloration would be a lot more natural than using this pink paper. So I have that. And then on top of that, I also like baby flower, little flower buds. So I also use a little bit of glass beads that are in the purple tone. And then I added them and put them together. And I do think that my flower vase is, I like this a lot more than what they suggest. And if you put that all together for the dining room, so this will be my, my dining room. All right, so compare with what they have here. This is the set that I have. Okay, so that's the dining room. Okay, moving on to the living room. So as I say, most of the things I did it according to the instruction. So I have two coffee table built according to their instructions. Okay. And I also have the coffee mug also built to the instructions. And this little pot of flower, what they have kind of the instruction is to actually build a little flower pot. And this happened multiple times in the instruction. They will give me white and also brownish tone, basically for the soil. Two little circle and then maybe a little rectangle. And basically you cut it up and then roll that up. And then that would be the base for your flower pot. Well, it can be done, but I really don't like the way it looks. As I say, I like to just go to my collection of beads and see if I can find one that is convincing enough. So instead of building a pot that looked like this, I just went to my bead collection and I find this green one that I think really look nice and does look like a flower pot. And then instead of cutting what they have provided me, I find another piece that is in my collection, and I do think that this look a lot nicer than that. So I'm going to use this for that, right? And then they have another smaller piece also with the same notion of making the little pot and then adding the flower to it. And for this small one, I find a smaller beads. And then I also, use the same one that they provided me. And this one will be my little flower pot for the coffee table. And so I have this one instead of that. So here for the floor and this for my dining room, for my table, right? What they did is now then we have a kind of like a cabinet for the TV. And I built this according to the instruction. So I do have this pretty much to the instruction, and this will be a light bulb that we can use as kind of like a little lamp. So this is basically two part. But then for the TV, what we have is, this is the TV screen that they provided me, which is basically, maybe it was a cooking show going on. And so I built this according to the instructions, this and also the backing here. But for the front of what's on the screen, what I did is I actually put one of my painting. So this is actually one of my painting. I think it's more fun to have my painting on the screen. So this will be my little TV that I will have in my dining room. So now, now let's come to the living room, the sofa. I have to say that making furniture is not my, this is the first time I make furniture with cloth covering on wood. And as I say, I have a pretty hard time making the dining room set. And I learned from that, so I have a slightly easier time, but not by much. So one way I honestly said I have to struggle to do that, but then anyway, after making that, this is what I made. So this is the little sofa that I made. They look better from the distance. I don't think I did an extremely good job on it. I mean, I did an okay job on that. But then this is the little sofa. I think some of the etching I could have done a better job, but they are outrageously small, so I have to struggle over it, but it's not too bad. And then there are also little cushions on that. So that's my little sofa for my living room with all my little plant and a coffee. So you can have coffee while you are watching the TV. Right? So the TV is here, and then of course the stand for the TV. So that's my living room. So let's move on. This is all the instruction of how to make the furniture. Okay. And now we go to the bathroom. Okay. For the bathroom, we have to do the vanity set. And the vanity set, I basically build it according to instructions. So it's not too bad. I do enjoy that. As a matter of fact, I mean, I don't mind building furniture like this, but to make furniture that have a cloth covering, I have to say that I have a hard time. But then, just sticking little blocks together, it's not too bad. So, that's not too bad. And it even have a closet and also a basin, so which is kind of fun. And so this is what I made. Again, the thing that I changed is actually this little pot with the plant. I kept the plant, but then again, you'll see that I actually use a little beads instead of trying to roll a piece of paper surrounding another cynical structure. And I also added a little bit of my dry flower on top, so it's a little bit more interesting than that. But then I'm pretty happy with what I built for my vanity set. Now let's come to the cupboard. This is basically the oven, faucet, and kitchen sink set for the kitchen. And this is what I built. So basically, these are done according to the instruction, building the sink, building the closet. And as I mentioned earlier, because the print that I have for the cupboard are already in pink, so I have to pick a wallpaper that is kind of picking up this color because I really don't want to recreate this again. And the cool thing is, according to what they gave me, we already have cookies cooking in the oven. So that's a nice fix too. And then another fun thing is for the stove top, and on the pan, we already have a fried egg. So I do have that. According to what they suggest, they actually put this on top of this. But then I think it's kind of more fun to have it seen, because once I put this on top and stuck it together, you won't be able to see the stove top anyway. So I actually put it on the counter. And I also, made the little milk can from this. which is, kind of fun to fold, although, it's pretty small. One thing I did not do is they gave me two of these little cutout for the cheese board and also the chopping board. And then they also gave me this print of wood covering for me to stuck onto these two boards. I don't think it's necessary. I think the natural wood color actually look more realistic. So I leave it the way it is because I think this is actually more fun than sticking some wood on something that is already has wood grain on it. So I did not bother to do that. Right? I think it's actually not better. And then the apples on the plate is also made by cutting out things, little circular things, and so I did that. And of course, adding the little leaves on each of the beads to make them into an apple. So it's pretty small, but it's okay. And then this is the cooker hood, which I also did according to the instruction. Not too bad. So the resultant one, which is this, and you compare with that, is pretty close to what they suggest. The only thing, as I say, is I don't think I want to stick the pan on top to the stove because I actually want people to be able to see the stove. So I moved my apple a little bit further away, and I also did not stuck the wood print onto the cheese board. I think they already look nice together. So that's what I did for the kitchen. And I didn't really change anything for the refrigerator, which is here. And I also didn't change anything for the kitchen cabinet, which I think you already seen earlier. So now we come to the upstairs rooms. Oh, this is what I did on here. So I didn't change anything on that. Okay, now we go to the upstairs rooms. And in the design itself, upstairs only have one room. And this obviously is the bedroom. And this is kind of like an office area or like a study. And because of that, there's a kind of like a library or a bookcase. And so we are going to make bookshelf and little things for a kind of like a study area. So in the instruction, they have bunny bookends, and then they also gave me these to make into books. And I did that, but let me show you what I did. Here. I have one more. I don't know where it is now. Okay. Oh, yeah, right here. Okay. So after you cut this up and fold it up according to the instruction, they'll look like this. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually quite cool. But then all they gave me are only three colors: the pink, the yellow, and the blue. And they only gave me maybe three of this, and three of this. I made three of this, but then I start to think that it's a little bit boring on the colors. So what I did is I actually gave them a book cover. So this one used to be the pink one. So what I did is I folded up and then I add another cover to it. So I have this one, this is also one of my painting. I made it into kind of like a cherry blossom cover book, right? And what I also did is I actually went to my other miniature set. I do have a miniature set of my art studio, and I made different books. And I have these pretty nice looking paper for the cover. So instead of making all these little pages, what I did is I just find some, little cardboard and to give it the thickness. And then I have different books cover, and my library will be a lot more interesting than the pink, pale blue, and pink color library because this a little bit too pastel and kitty. So this look more like an adult bookcases, books in the bookcases. So that, and with that, my I'll show you my bookcase. Yeah. Okay. So the book ends. I made the ends with the bunny rabbit book ends, but then you'll see that my books, instead of the pastel color one, I have these books that actually look more like adult books, right? And then for the radio, I made it according to the description. So this is the little radio, right? No change there. Now, we go to the bedroom, okay? I didn't do any change to the bedroom. The only thing that I did is, as I say, because the original design is very pink, I kept the one for the furnishing. So because I don't have any particular additional cloth to change the coloration, so I kept the beddings. But then the bedboard, which is the one they gave me is pink. I think it's a little bit too pink. So I also color it with a little brown wood tone. So the bedboard become, like less pink because with this is also pink is a little bit much for me. So this with the bed that I made, which is pretty similar to what they suggest. Okay. Now this is the bookcase or the library. Okay. So what I did is here, the radio is the same one. The books, kind of the same, but I just have different covers. And then this last book also has, a, a cover that is my painting, all right? But then what they have given me to put on this particular shelf are these 3 color blocks, which basically look like little cubes that a toddler or a youngster would play in their playroom, and also a little toy elephant. Okay. I do have to say that, like they are very cute, but then it's a little bit kitty for my taste. So I'm not going to stick that in. Instead, again, what I did is I like to use beads to represent different things. So basically, I use this look kind of metallic in colors. It could be a container. These are 2 beads that I stuck together. Then it kind of end up looking like a jar. And then this also is a bead that I add flowers to it. So it looked like a vase with some flower. And then this is basically a piece of glass bead that is cut into half. And I do think that from a distance, they do look like maybe a jade collection of decorative items. So instead of the pale blue that it came, I color it with the same brown tone because I think it's just a more mature design for my taste, right? So this became this. Okay. And then the wall covering. The wall covering, what they have done is they have given me these designs, which are these, right? So these are designs of 4 3 flower painting and 1 of cherries. And according to the design, what they did is they put it on in the bedroom on top of the bedside table and also 1 in the bathroom. So these are where the 4 painting would go. They are nice painting, but then I like mine better. So what I did is I used the wood board that they have provided me, but then I switched them into my artwork. And since the one in the bedroom is a pair, I also split my painting into 2. So I have this pair on top of the bedroom, this one, maybe, the other one on the bedroom. And then in the bathroom, because I've changed the bathroom to a blue tone, so the blue tone one, I will have this landscape. So those these are the 4 painting instead of this 4, which I think is a lot more sophisticated. So I have that. And the bedside table are the same. The bedside table, the clock, I basically just did it, similar to what the kid has suggested. And I haven't stuck my artwork on top of that yet because according to this, it's like this. But it may be a little bit big, but I haven't decided yet. But I may make it smaller. But we'll see. When I put that together, then you'll see what I decided. Okay. And then now we come to the chair that is in the study. The chair in the study, again, I don't enjoy doing that. Sticking fabric to wood and paper is not easy. So I also don't think I did a very good job. I did an okay job doing that. So this is the little sofa that I made. This is the result. This is what they said. I think I did an okay job, but I think I could have done better. But this is what I came up with. Now the little study, the little table, work table, and yeah, okay. So I have my bookcase here, and here we talk about the TV set. I kept it the way it is, right? The keyboard, the same. How I constructed the table, same here. Also a little bit for the pencil container and little black wire for the pencil. I also didn't change anything, like they did give me a little glass bead for that and some of the plants. So I did, this is basically, very similar to what they did, except I have more mature book covers. And the bathroom, there's not much change there. So I mean, it's already, this is provided by the manufacturer. So I didn't do much to it, just did it according to the instructions. And the 2 little slippers, I also did that. This is what I made, this little slippers, which is okay, But as I say, sticking cloth to paper and wood is not the easiest to me. And these are instructions to make the different light features, so I did that as well, right? One thing I didn't do is the building of the plants, right? Here, they gave me these in order to roll up and make a kind of like a planter. And then from the planter, they also gave me the pink, red, and yellow paper and to make into, roses of different color. And then you can put that and make it into a flower arrangement like that. I don't like these colors. And I also don't like to, make a pot of this. So what I did is, again, I went to my bead collection and I find a larger bead that can stand. So I did that. And then again, I go to my rice paper and I add some pink and purple, pink and yellow and white onto my paper, cut them out. And this time, because I already have, this rolled up one, so I cut them out and basically just use a pair of scissors and created little flower petals. So I did that. So I have 3 flowers, but then with the paper that I have, and I did use some of the plastic that they gave me for the green part of it. So instead of this, I made this flower arrangement, which I like a lot more. And according to the instruction, they are actually they are placed on the 2nd floor. So we'll see whether we'll use this or not. But this looks pretty okay. I mean, I do like that. So this is what I made instead of that one. And besides this, besides the flower, I also don't like the idea they have for the plants because what what they suggest, they gave me this and some green wire. So according to instructions, I will make various kind of pots. According to this, cover them with gold paper or different color paper. And then I will cut this leaves shape paper out, and then I will stick them onto this green wire, and then they will make plants like this. I have yet to do it. I don't really like the way that it looks, so I haven't decided what I will do with them yet. But then we'll see when we put that together. Because as you can see, I like plant that look like this a lot more than this. So I have to debate what to do yet, right? But I also built the staircase according to instructions. So this is kind of the time that I will put all of this together. Right? Put all of this together and then build my little house. And of course, add the music box and also the light and see what I'll come up with. So my backings that I have changed into different color, my various furnitures that I have made. Kitchen and vanities and also all the wires. Okay. So I will let you know I'll go put that together and I'll show you the end product. Okay. Bye-bye. Hi. I finally finished my little dollhouse and I'll show you my finishing touch. So here it is. Okay. I put the whole thing together and the way I like to do it is I don't want to permanently glue them onto the base because occasionally I do like to pick them up and look at them and see how tiny and miniature they are. So let me show you what I have changed from what I've already talked about. Oops. Okay. The picture on the cupboard bedside table is still a little bit too big for me. So I have actually reduced it to a smaller size. I think this look more like a picture on top of a bedside table. And then the first floor is basically done. We have already talked about all the little parts. What I did is the kid gave me a piece of paper that looked like a rug, but then I was able to find a small piece of fiber that looked very much like a rug. So I used that instead. And then for the ground floor, you can see that the bathroom and also the kitchen, you actually can't see it, is already glued together. So what I did is I have the dining room table, and in order to be able to take them out and not have them fall down all the time, I actually gave them a rug. And this is a piece of origami paper that I found, and I do think that they look like autumn foliage, and it looked pretty nice with the dining room, so I used that. And of course, we have the living room. And for the living room, the original set gave me a piece of paper that looked like a little area rug. I was able to also find a piece of fabric with a similar pattern, but then it's actually made of fiber. So I replaced that as the area rug. And then of course, then I have my sofa here and my little pillows here. The thing that I haven't talked about is actually this particular setup. And what I did is, according to the book, what the instruction did is they gave me different pieces of paper to cut out the leaves. And then they also gave me green wire. And the instruction is to do this, to have different leaves and then green wire and make them into vines and glue them to the awning, right? However, I don't think this is too realistic. And besides, I have chosen not to do the plant the way that they did it. I actually made the plant more realistic. So what I did is, this is what I do. So I want to show you this. I get the rice paper that I use for sumi printing. And this is a rice paper called Dragon Cloud. It has nice fiber and it's also kind of translucent. Excuse me. And then I have what I did is I use watercolor and I color my entire piece of rice paper and soak them in a variety of color. So this is the result. I have green, yellow, blue, purple, and pink. And I would selectively use them for the purpose of what I want to represent. The key is not to have a solid green color or a solid blue color. What I want is I want different gradation. So this is a piece of rice paper that I already color and dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them up into accordion. And how many do you need depends on how many lines of vines do you want. And it's always nice to have extra as well. So maybe 2 pieces. So what I do is I basically just cut them out. Let me just do maybe a small section. And this could be very random, by the way, because what I'm representing are plants, right? What you also see is, although it's all green, but it's green, light green, dark green with some blue and things like that. So I have basically 2 V shape, so like a W shape. So what I'm going to do is this. I don't even need to do a sketch on that. I basically do leaf and then connect it together like this. Okay, so you can do as long or short as you want. I usually would like to do the whole length because I can always cut it shorter. But for time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little section. I will probably continue doing that a little bit later. But say, for example, like this is all done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that up, right? And let's say I have this line. So this is the one that I have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist the center together without breaking the leaves part. And you don't have to worry about the directions or the front and back because the rice paper that I use is quite translucent. So the front and back, you still have the green in it. And the little differentiation between the front and back actually is good because there are also, slight differentiation between the top and bottom side of the leaf. So this would actually look quite natural. And by twisting only the center, but not the leaf part, what you end up here is a vine that have adjacent leaves. And these are the ones that I've made that are longer. And you see the gradation of light green, dark green. And each of them is different because the coloration is different, okay? And then for the leftovers, what I do is I do not have to waste them. I'll collect them and then I'll cut them up some more so they become little pieces. And I use them as little, here and there for if I need greenery or grass and things like that. And the differentiation in color actually will make it more realistic. So nothing is wasted. And here is what I have. Again, I use a small bead as a pot, and these are the leftovers of the greenery that I cut up to make it look like grass. And then going up, then I'll have these vines continuously onto the awning that I have for the dining room. Okay, so here, let's look at the whole thing. And if you don't glue it all together, you have the risk of them falling down. However, you can also have the advantage of picking them up and admiring them, like at your leisure. So, and another thing is when I put the whole thing together, I usually like to not permanently attach certain portion so I can see things. And for example, this one, the suggestion is permanently attach it, but then it will block me from seeing the bedroom. So I usually just, like attach it in a way that they would be easier to see. So let me just turn that on and show that to you. Yeah. Oh. Sorry, down again. Oops. And here is my little house. I do like the way it looks, the greenery. Yeah. And then I may attach it permanently later. But this is my little house. I'm ready to do my next project. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.